This morning we continue our Saving You Money series, Cash for Clunkers. The government rebate program starts tomorrow, but not everyone knows exactly who qualifies, whether the car that they're driving is actually a clunker. So, problem solver Susan Hogan joins us now with the lowdown. Susan, how are you this morning?
I'm well, Vince. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Now, just because you drive an old car doesn't mean it's necessarily a clunker. Is that true?
No, absolutely. I mean, actually, it really comes down to gas mileage, and there are other factors as well. For instance, the car has to be no more than 25 years old. It still has to be drivable, and the car must be insured for at least a year by you, and the car must get under 18 miles a gallon.
Those are the basics. Now, how do you figure all of this stuff out?
It's actually very easy. If you go onto fueleconomy.gov,
Fueleconomy.gov.
Exactly, and it spells it out for you. So, for instance, let's look at a 1985 Honda Accord. So all you do is you click on 1985 here. And if you have a Honda Accord, and let's find Honda, there we go, Honda.
Yep.
And then if you have an Accord, you click that on. And we'll just go to the top one right here.
Okay.
Now here, look how old this thing looks. Here's a 1985 Honda Accord. It gets a combined city and highway of 24 miles to the gallon. This is when it was new.
Right.
So here's what's really interesting. You would think that this would
I would think it'd be a clunker.
You would think so, but no, because it gets 24 miles to the gallon, which is more than 18. But this is what I find really interesting. Now, if we were to go to, say, like a 2000, let's go back to side by side. We'll go to, here we go, like a 2000 Ford Explorer, say, for instance. Then you would think, okay, well, a 2000 Ford Explorer, what would you think? Clunker or not clunker?
I would think it's a clunker.
Okay. It is actually a clunker, and I'll tell you why, because it gets 16 miles to the gallon.
So basically what this comes down to is gas mileage. It doesn't come down to age, doesn't come down to the condition of the car, it comes down to the gas mileage of the car.
Well, the age also does play a factor, too. In the condition, it does have to be drivable. You have to be able to actually drive it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's what I think really is a confusing thing to a lot of people is you think, well, I've got a 20-year-old car. It's got to be a clunker. Well, you've got to go onto this website to find out whether you actually qualify, and that's really important. The other thing, too, it really plays a factor into whether and how much you get.
Right. I was going to ask that question. How do you know whether you get the $3,500 or the $4,500?
Absolutely. So let's do this, for instance. It's kind of confusing, but if you want to buy a new passenger car, and they have to be new, and it gets 22 miles per the gallon, if the difference in the miles per gallon now is between, in the new cars, between 4 and 9 miles per gallon, you'll get the $3,500. If the difference is 10 miles per gallon, you'll get the $4,500. It's cut and dry. And so you have to figure out, you have to minus and, and do that. And the dealership will do that for you, too.
So if I understand correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you certainly will.
Sure.
The bottom line basically is they want gas guzzlers off the road, and they're willing to pay you for it.
Absolutely. But here's the thing that you should also know, and I think this is important to a lot of people, is people think, okay, well, if it qualifies. So say that your car, though, like the Kelley Blue Book, is worth $1,000. You're not going to get that $4,500 plus what you think it's worth. You're going to get it's only $4,500. Absolutely. So a lot of people don't realize that. So you really want to figure out for you what is much more. Is it going to be more savings for you if you go through and the dealership and do this Cash for Clunkers program, or sell it outright and make more money?
Susan, as always, thanks for the information.
Thank you, Vince.
We appreciate it.